Okay, so this first video is going to focus on technique number 1, which is called hard edge painting or hard edge. This is closely affiliated with pop art. So we're going to look at some pop art examples. Overall, you're not blending your paint. So if blending was something you really struggled with practicing, then this might be a technique you'd like to use for your final painting. So instead of blending values together, each value becomes a separate shape. So we're going to look at some examples in pop art, and then we are going to do this together. Here's an example of a hard edge painting that's at the Nelson Atkins Museum. So if we get a chance to go there, this is something that you'll see that relates to what we're talking about. So you can see each value is its own shape, right? The artist is not blending anything together. The definition of hard edge painting is an approach to abstract painting that became widespread in the 1960s. That's also the same time as pop art. And it's characterized by areas of flat color with sharp, clear, or hard edges. So here's that same artist. His name is Alex Katz. So this portrait on the right is a really clear example. Do you see that edge where it goes from a darker value to a lighter value? That is a hard edge. It is not a smooth blended value. Here's another Alex Katz painting. Again, hard edge painting. So if you look at her hair, right, where it goes from light to dark, it's just a hard edge. Same thing in the values on the face, on the clothing. You're not blending. Famous example is going to be by Andy Warhol. So this Marilyn Monroe painting, or silkscreen print, sorry. So each shape or each color is its own shape. Nothing is blending. And then my favorite is Shepard Fairey. People always ask my favorite artist, and he's definitely one of them. He became really famous when he was in college for doing the Obey Giant campaign, where he was just telling people to obey Andre the Giant. He put stickers all over Rhode Island, and then it became a big trend. No one really knows what we're obeying, right? But everybody recognizes it. And then he also became more famous when he did this Barack Obama portrait for his campaign. And he also got in a lot of trouble for using a copyright image. And then this is that portrait being hung up. So here's some more examples and really clear definitions, right? This darker value is a shape. And then we have a lighter value as a shape. And then you have the lightest value as a shape. If you look on the left, each shape has a hard edge defining that line. He's also known for taking his work and turning it into murals. And then these, of course, I love because this is one of my favorite artists doing portraits of two of my other favorite artists. And these are both pop artists, Basquiat on the left, and then Keith Haring on the right, who's famous for doing those style characters. And here's a picture of him working. Now we're also making this more complicated because it says here, for each technique that you use, remember, we're using hard edge first. We're going to choose a color scheme to go along with it. So you have all of these color schemes that you can choose from for each of the techniques. So I'm just going to make it simple for my demo video. For technique 1 of hard edge, I'm going to do warm. You don't have to do warm. If you want to do all intense saturated colors where you're not dulling the colors, you can. If you want to do triadic, you can, but we're going to focus on warm, okay? Examples of all of these color schemes are right down here below on Canvas. So again, the definition of warm, colors on the warm side of the color wheel. And we should have these notes in our sketchbook. So here's a Van Gogh example of warm. And here's a Picasso on the left, and then a Monet example of cool. I don't know if I have all these examples in here, but you guys can scroll down to see examples of each of those color schemes. All right, so I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do hard edge painting using warm colors of my apple. So I'm going to switch over to that.